Email marketing in 2020. If you've ever wondered how to go ahead and make more money with your email marketing efforts in 2020 and beyond, or if you're brand new, get profitable online as quickly as humanly possible, leveraging the power of email, stick around until the very end because I'm about to share with you 5 simple tips to maximize cash flow with email marketing. Now, as always, if you get value, don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon notification button so you're notified every single time I do a new video just like this one. And if this is your first video, my name is Misha Wilson, and over the course of the last few years, I've done over $10 million in sales online. I've built email lists of well over 500,000 people, and I've done quite a bit of email marketing. And so what I'm going to train you on in today's video is based on experiential knowledge that has literally driven hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars worth of sales for me. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right in. Welcome to the Misha Wilson Show, where we show you how to create massive success online so you can enjoy the lifestyle of your wildest dreams. All right, so here we are. Now, before we dive directly into the content, I want to talk about why email really quickly. So I remember when I first came online, there were so many different avenues, so many different tactics, so many different strategies. There was blogging, there was Facebook ads, there was YouTube videos just like this. There was list building, which thank God I went ahead and did. There was, article marketing. There was 1,001 different things that I could do to, potentially make money online. Now remember, kind of being confused on which path was the right path forward for me to go ahead and take. And luckily, I ended up finding a mentor who had been through a couple of the different adjustments, let's call them, in the online world, and he stressed the importance to me to go ahead and build my list from day number one. And I was smart enough to go ahead and take his advice. And essentially, he told me that, look, in the online world, there are going to be a bunch of different things that come and go. Facebook's going to be really easy, then it's going to be really hard. YouTube's going to be really easy, then it's going to be really hard. Blogging is going to be really easy, then it's going to be really hard. SEO, all the algorithms are always going to change all of the time. And no matter what the different tactic, is that you're trying to go ahead and kind of, almost find a loophole around, if you're trying to, once again, get Facebook to send you really cheap clicks, or YouTube to send you really cheap clicks, or SEO to send you free traffic, no matter what the tactic is, at some point in time, it is going to change. And when it changes, you're going to want your email list to go ahead and fall back on. And he told me a few different stories in his own personal business when stuff changed, when his Google AdWords account got shut down, when Facebook ended up going ahead and shutting down his account, when all of his blog posts were unranked in the Google rankings, and very quickly he lost all of his traffic. Each and every single time he lost all of his traffic, he did one thing. He went back to his email list, he ran a promotion to his email list, he very quickly made money based on the fact that he ran a promotion to his list. That gave him cash flow, that gave him profit to stick around, to stay alive, while he figured out the next thing. And so he told me from day number one to build my list. I followed his advice, thank God. And I can't tell you how many different pinches, how many different cash flow pinches, how many different issues that I've essentially been able to overcome based on the fact that I've had a list, I've been able to run promotions to that list, I know how to use email marketing, and while all those other tactics are cool, email marketing at its core level is a strategy that if you dial in now will work for you today, work for you 5 years from now, work for you 10 years from now, and it will continue to crank out profits day in and day out. So now that you know why you absolutely need a list, let's talk about the 5 keys to really going ahead and cranking up sales and cranking up profits once you go ahead and have one. So the first thing is actually kind of more of, less of once you have it and more is as you build it. And that is very simply this. All you need is an email. All right. So when you're building your email list, one of the things that I see out there so often is people to say, to ask for a first name and a last name and a phone number, ask for an address on your capture page. And essentially, the more data you have, the better the list, right? We have found the exact opposite is true. What we found is It's not that less data is better. It's that more data isn't necessarily better, and if you ask for more data, you hurt your opt-in rates. So as an example, when someone hits your opt-in page, if you have everything set up really well, you might be able to convert 50% of people if you're just asking for an actual email address. But when you start adding more friction, when you start asking for a first name, when you start asking for a last name, when you start asking for a phone number, and you start asking for more information, opt-in rates always come down. All right, so we found that if we have a first name and a last name, oftentimes opt-in rates will go from 45 or 50% all the way down to 20 or 25%. So effectively, if you ask for a first and a last name on the capture page, usually what we find is we get about half the opt-ins. Now, we have tested it, and while it might be a slightly better lead, it is not a 2 times better lead. So again, we always have this huge attrition of almost 100%. So we'll have 20% of people opt in or 40%, and the leads are not 2 times as good when you have a first name and a last name. So what your priority should be is to have maximum opt-in rates, and then once again, build a relationship with your list as effectively as humanly possible on the back end, and realize if you do the right relationship building activities once they're an email list subscriber, it doesn't really matter that much whether you have a first name or a last name. Now, every now and then we'll have a capture page that does really well with a first name and a last name and an email, and in that case, we'll leave it on. So if you find one of my pages and you show me, Misha, you have a first name on this page, there always is the exception to the rule. But with that said, all you need as the baseline, very simply, is an email. Now, number 2, more mailing is better. So it's really interesting. We start out with building our list so that we can mail our list so that we can make money. And the trap that so many people fall into, myself included, is you spend so much time, effort, and energy going ahead and building a list and learning how to build a list that once you have it, it's like this holy grail. And you almost never want to mail it. You never want to sell anything to it. You never want to try to make sales with your list because you don't want to, offend people. You don't want to have people unsubscribe. You don't want to have people say you're a spammer, whatever it might be. And we fall into this trap if we spend all this time, effort, and energy to build our list, then we never actually mail it, or we don't mail it nearly often enough. And oftentimes I'll have students who build a list and then mail it once per week, or mail it, twice per week, or mail it 3 times per week. And the truth is that is all way too little. So especially in 2020 and beyond, because there's so much ADHD, we need to be in front of our audience constantly. We need to be mailing our list every single day at least, and if you're brand new, I recommend mailing your list twice a day. Now, the biggest thing is that you need to make sure to provide value in your emails. Be entertaining, tell entertaining stories, give good information, send them to videos just like this one where you give good content, and build a relationship with your list. But please understand, it is never going to be beneficial for you and your business to mail less frequently. And actually what happens when you mail less frequently is people never really build a relationship with you at a core level, and sooner or later they just start automatically moving you to either spam or deleting your emails without ever reading them. What happens when you mail more often is usually there's a small percentage of your leads that really like your message. They really like your content. They really enjoy tuning in. And the more often you email those people, the better off you are. And then everyone else, it doesn't really matter. And so what naturally happens is that as you mail more often, the people who aren't into your message unsubscribe and they leave, while the people who are really into your message, they get something from you literally each and every single day, so they become more and more and more of a raving fan. So essentially, you get rid of the people who aren't going to buy from you anyway, you make more sales to the people who are going to buy, and you kind of turn a lead from a lead into a fan to, a raving fan if you do things correctly, and once again, if you mail more often. So I recommend mailing each and every single day, provide value, tell a funny story, be entertaining, but do not shy away from going ahead and mailing your list. Number 3, use segments to increase engagement. So realize that when you send an email, not everyone's going to open. Maybe 10% or 7% of people are going to open, which means that 90% or 93% of people didn't open. That's another segment. The people who opened, that's a segment. The people that opened but didn't click, that's a segment. And what we want to do is we want to go ahead and use segments and mail different segments in different ways. Now, how my mentor taught me very simply, very quickly, I should say, is mail something in the morning that's more of a towards pleasure style of message. And then in the evening, to the people who didn't open the towards pleasure message, send an away from pain message. So in the morning, you might send, how to get profitable as quickly as humanly possible. In the evening, you might send how to quit your job, right? So quitting your job is away from pain. Getting profitable as quickly as humanly possible is towards pleasure. So different hooks for different people, right? That's just one example. If someone opened but didn't click and it was a longer email, maybe you send a shorter email in the evening to the people who opened but didn't click, and make it easier for them to click with less content so that they can go ahead and engage. All right. The biggest thing is to make sure that you don't just email everyone exactly the same way. Use segments, email your different segments in different ways. And while it's much too much to get into in today's video, if you would like, please let me know in the comments section if you would like a more thorough video on how to go ahead and use segments, what type of messages to mail to people who open but don't click, to people who don't open, to people who click, and so on and so forth. And I'll do a more thorough video on how to use segments in, of course, your email marketing. Let me know in the comments, but for now, just know you need to use segments in order to go ahead and increase your engagement. Number 4, very simply, use promotions to appeal to different kinds of buyers. So one mistake I see so many people make is they kind of forget that not everyone buys for the same reason. And if you're building an email list of, let's say, 10,000, 100,000, a million people, you're going to have a bunch of different people on your list who buy for a bunch of different reasons. Some people on your list will buy because there's a discount. Maybe they're looking to buy the cheapest or the best, option available to them at a given price. And so if you run a promotion where you offer maybe a bonus and then also, cut your price in half by 50% if you have an information product, that's going to appeal to that person. That's going to get that person to buy, especially if you have a deadline in there where after today, this discount promotion goes away forever. That's going to get that person to go ahead and purchase. There's another segment of your list that, just essentially wants to spend more money, because when they spend more money and when they can spend more money than the next person on your list, it makes them feel more important. Lots of people spend money so that they can elevate their status, and the very act of buying something makes them feel good about themselves, like they're going ahead and moving towards their goals. So in order to go ahead and appeal to that segment of your actual list, and that, once again, kind of personality type, you would actually want to create, more of a premium offer where it's a higher priced offer, but also more value. And you kind of want to message in that offer, hey, I have something really good, more expensive than most of, the different programs that I sell, but also extremely high quality. And I think you'll absolutely love this. And in just messaging, it's really kind of counterintuitive for most people. In just messaging that you have something that's more expensive, you're actually going to get a segment of your list to go ahead and purchase. Now, there's different segments as well. Some people buy more based on logic. Some people buy more based on emotion. People buy for different reasons, but the biggest thing is for you to understand is that not everyone buys for the same reasons, and you want to go ahead and use promotions of different kinds, one of a higher priced product, one of a discount, one of maybe with bonuses, one with a lot of logic, one with a lot of motion, etc., in order to go ahead and make sales to as many people as humanly possible on your list. And last, but certainly not least, number 5, this is a more advanced tip. Please don't try to go ahead and implement this until you're at least at 6 figures and beyond. We didn't actually do this until we got to the 7-figure point, and my marketing with my email list has always been fine. So with that said, this might confuse you more if you try to do it right now. But with that said, once you go ahead and have a list and you're mailing your list consistently, and you see different people opening up different types of content consistently, what you can do is you can create buckets. And you can essentially say, let's say, our market as an example, people really kind of need to learn how to get traffic, how to get leads, how to make sales, and how to follow up. And, at any point in time, if someone opts into my list, They might be not dealing with a traffic problem, but they might be dealing with a sales conversion problem. They might know how to make sales, but they might not know how to get traffic. They might know how to get traffic, but not know how to generate leads. They might know how to do all three, but they don't know how to follow up, right? I don't know exactly where they are when they first opt in. And so what you can do is you can actually send a series of, let's say, 3 emails or 4 or 5 emails to your list that are all traffic oriented. So 5 ways to get traffic, 5 ways to increase your website traffic without the overwhelm, how to use solo ads to increase your traffic, how to use Google SEO to increase your traffic, traffic hacks 101. Just essentially for that week, constantly be in front of your list with traffic oriented subjects. And then after you send, let's say 5 different emails to your list that are all traffic related, what you can do is you can look at all of the different people who have opened and clicked, or just opened, depending on how kind of micro you want to be. You can look at who opened all of the various emails having to do with traffic, and then you can mail them more content just having to do with traffic. And based on the fact that they opened in order to learn about traffic, when you mail them more training and more resources and products on how to go ahead and get traffic, they will be more likely to go ahead and open those emails. Then you do the same thing for lead conversions, you do the same thing for sales conversions, you do the same thing for follow-up. And when someone opens up, more than one email on a specific topic, so if someone opens up 3 different emails having to do with traffic or 3 different emails having to do with follow-up, it might probably be a good idea to send them more messages about traffic or more messages about follow-up, because once again, the best indication of future behavior is past behavior. And if they've opened specific emails on a specific topic, most likely they'll open more emails about that same topic. So very quickly to recap, once again, number 1, all you need is an email, all right? Don't ask for everything, just ask for an email, unless you can get a capture page converting at 40 or 50% asking for everything, but it doesn't usually happen. Number 2, more mailing is better. Don't shy away from mailing your list. Mail your list often and make sales with your list. Use segments to increase engagement. Once again, let me know in the comments section if you'd like that video on segments, and I'll go ahead and get it done just for you guys. Use promotions to appeal to different buyers. Different people will purchase for different reasons. Use promotions to go ahead and get different segments of buyers to take action and buy. And of course, advanced tip, mail topics based on behaviors. So if someone opens a bunch of emails regarding traffic, mail them more, emails and videos and trainings and products regarding traffic, and of a higher likelihood of having people open and click. With that said, I hope you got a ton of value. If you did, as always, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon notification button so you're notified whenever I do a new video just like this one. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was in the comment section below. I read every single comment and I try to reply to each and every single one as well. And with that said, I will see you in the next video.